Ashwinder, most commonly known as Sonia, to Mohanji and his family, and to the people who are very close to me. I'm presently in Muscat, but I'm from India, northern part of India, from Chandigarh. Well, how I met Mohanji still brings a smile on my face when I think about it. It was February of 2013. My husband, he came home from work, and in his hand, he had a handout. A little curious because I could faintly see the handout, and I asked him right away. I was like, "What do you have in your hand?" He goes, I told you about Biba, Mohanji's wife. And Biba apparently was working with Mercedes, and my husband and Biba were very good clients. So they used to talk about it, and one day Biba had apparently given the handout and said, just go through it if you're interested. So then I was like, okay, let me just read. The handout said, Mohanji, a guru who finds you. And it's quite I would say, like, it just got me hooked onto that handout. The author in that mentioned in one line, did I find this experience or this experience find me? Well, little did I know or what was going to happen or anything. So as a usual thing, I read the whole article. I kept the article on the side and probably forgot about it because day-to-day life and, busy schedule. But one day, like, I think it was a Tuesday or a Wednesday, my husband came home and he's like, do you remember about the handout? So I was like, wait a minute. I was like, he will not talk about any other handout. And immediately I was like, yeah. You're talking about the handout which says, Mohanji, a guru who finds you. So he says, yes. He's like, do you want to go for a meditation? And I was like, pleasantly surprised. I was like, meditation and you? I'm like, are you sure? Because I have been into meditation for quite some time, and I've always, wanted that to find a group of people with similar interests where I can practice my meditation with, but never got an opportunity in Muscat, to be honest with. But here, when my husband told me about this meditation on Thursday, without thinking too much, I was like, okay, let's experience it, maybe because he was talking about it for quite some time. So I was like, okay, we'll go. So Thursday came, we came home a little bit early from work, and we were ready for the meditation. Usually Mohanji used to hold meditation at his place when he was in Muscat on every Thursdays at 7 p.m. So we got ready, we were off to his place, and here you go. We were, as usual, we were welcomed with a very, very warm welcome from Biba. Met Mohanji and Biba's daughter Mila as well. And as well, like when we entered, a group of people were there. Very, very nice feeling when you enter. Like, you want to be around people like them, all smiling. They all welcomed you like as if they knew you from quite some time. So everything was just happening, and we moved into the room where the meditation was going to happen. And there was a chair that was kept separately, and I assumed it was for Mohanji because it had a white cloth and it was kept separately from all of us. So I was like, okay. And yes, everybody I could see in everybody's eyes, they were eagerly waiting for Mohanji. And here you go. As soon as I hear somebody coming down the stairs, they all, got up, and so did I. And I saw a person dressed in white, eyes that shined beautifully, smile that had something in it, and I would say a charm. He came down and greeted everybody. He also nodded his head, and he sat down. And as soon as he sat down, everybody went up to him and they were touching his feet. But I am a little different. I don't follow the crowd. Well, because I've heard a lot about gurus past when I was in India. So I was not too much, how, when, where. So I was a little reluctant, I would say. And just as a gesture of, because of course I'm Indian, so our first thing when we see somebody who you're meeting for the first time, you fold your hands in namaste, and so did I. I just bowed and said namaste to Mohanji, and he, with a big smile, reciprocated the same. And also because it is not a part of my culture, I'm a Sikhni, so usually the girls in my culture, they don't touch parents' feet, and it's only the in-laws. So this was also one of the reasons why probably I didn't touch his feet. And then the satsang started, question and answer started pouring, and as usual, it was like a very light environment. Mohanji was answering, and in his own humor, to make it light and very receptive to all. He never said, follow this, do that, like, other gurus usually tell you. So this was one point that really, really caught me in, because he just, I think from the vibes that I got from that room, from Mohanji, was be yourself, accept yourself. And I think that was one point where I connected right away, because I don't like somebody telling me that you should do this, because if you do this, this will happen. No, for me, respect or trust or believing as a matter should not come out of fear. It should come out of heart. So there was it. This was one point that really got me connected. And then then came the time when we were supposed to do the POP meditation, the power of purity meditation. And it was my and my husband's first time. We were quite beautifully explained by Beaver, the steps, the process and everything. And I was a little reluctant because, of course, when I came for this meditation, I had a lot of questions in my mind: how, when, where, what, as a usual person when you have too many things going on in your mind. So, and the same thing, 56 minutes of POP meditation, never have done it before. Will I be able to do it? Will I, all sort of questions going on. But then, because I was in that environment where suddenly my brain started, multiplying questions. It was kind of frozen. And I know why it was now. So then I was said, okay, we'll just go with the flow. If I'm not able to do it, I'll just walk out of the room and sit until the meditation is over. And then Biba also explained that during the meditation, Mohanji will be doing Shaktipat. So, and she explained the procedure of Shaktipat and everything. And we started the POP meditation. As soon as the meditation started, I couldn't stop tears rolling down. I just cried and cried. Till date, if I think about that moment, I get jitters. I have never cried like that before in my life. I think the last time I cried was when I got married and I was leaving my parents. But then also I stopped after a while. But during this meditation, I was just, crying. And there came the moment when Mohanji came near for the Shaktipat. The moment he kept his hand on my forehead, I felt like a bright light, that came, and it just took something out of me, like, the heaviness of, maybe I would say, negativity, unnecessary emotions. And I could just feel light as a feather. And that moment, like, tears were still rolling, probably even more. But when you cry, sometimes you have heart full of, your heart is heavy. But that day my heart wasn't heavy. It was, that time I could just feel a feeling of gratitude, a lot of love for my parents, for the people, for the teachers who have come, and for each and every person who have come across my life and touched my life in any possible way. Only gratitude and love. And the peace I felt while doing the meditation and during the Shakti Path was, after a long time, I felt like this. And it felt very nice. So the meditation finished, we did Aarti, and it was my first time experience. And usually, like, when meditation finishes, Mohanji keeps prasad for everybody. So we had dinner that day with everybody and talked to a lot of people. And it just seemed like I had known these people for ages. Talked to Mohanji, gave our introduction to him and how we came and everything. And till date, like, whenever I talk to him, I'm just mesmerized. First, from his eyes. That time, when first time our eyes came in contact, I never thought, I knew that it was not from now. These eyes, I know, probably from a lifetime. It was not something like you meet somebody and you feel, okay, you're meeting for the first time. It never happened with Mohanji. When I met him for the first time, when I saw him for the first time, I felt right at home, where you don't have to put a mask, where you don't have to portray anything. So, and the second thing, smile. These two things have never, till date, have not changed. A smile, I would say his smile is as pure as a child, as divine as an almighty. It's unexplainable what kind of serenity that smile brings to you. I cannot explain it. But it just, and the smile is so serene and so vast. It's like an ocean. It just takes you within. If you have any troubles, problems, I think they just vanish when he smiles. Till date, whenever I've met him personally or I've talked to him and I've, thought that he's smiling, that smile just gives you hope, strength, courage to, okay, we will see. Kya hoga, we will see. Mohanji is with you. That kind of assurance he gives to you. And then meditation finished, to my surprise. While I was leaving, I bowed down, I touched his feet. And I think it was to do with the feeling that I was getting that time, unconditional love and gratitude. And I think this is what Mohanji always says. That's what is required, not by me, but by him, by each and every person or being. We just need to show gratitude and share unconditional love with each and every being on earth. I think this is what is required. And that is, I think, something which I am teaching my 18-month-old daughter as well. She's too young, but I think because I practice and I want her to learn. And I think she gets it. I know from where she gets it, but she has that unconditional love and gratitude towards everything, every being. So just to share a few experiences, like we did a lot of meditation with Mohanji while Mohanji was in Muscat. I think I'm very fortunate and we are very blessed to experience this when he was here. And meditation got over. We used to do a lot of meditation every Thursdays. Used to do satsang, the same. We used to have dinners, like the prasad after aartis. It just became a routine for us, and I used to look forward for it. Days passed by. Like I wouldn't say a lot of things changed within me physically. No, but I think the most important thing that changed within me was there was calmness. There was peace within me. Usually, when you are in a different country, you have a lot of questions. How this will happen? You're always running behind things. You're always, it's a cat's race. And all of a sudden, I just felt that life was kind of settling down. And I think this was one of the biggest change I felt after I was doing meditations and I was connecting with Mohanji. And I would like to share one experience. That experience, it was my very first experience. I'm sure things happen before also, but sometimes you don't think about it and you just say, okay, it was a coincidence, that you got protected or something. You don't know the source who protected you. But here, one day, I was driving back home. It was a summer afternoon, and we have left-hand drive in Muscat. I was on the signal, and I was about to take a left. I was in the extreme lane, left lane, and I was about to take a left, and there was not even a single car on the road. Usual, the summer of Gulf, and afternoon time. So I took signal went green. I took a left. I started my car and I was about to take a left. And suddenly there is this car which came from the right and just took a U-turn right in front of my car. And the next thing was I braked. Usually, in such a hurry, because you did not expect, because there was nothing around you. You did not expect that the car is going to come from nowhere. And it came from nowhere, to be honest. I just braked. And my heart was pounding because I was like, okay, wait a minute. I was like, what just happened? I was like, if I would have touched this car, my car would have just toppled over. But then, like I said, I became very calm, very serene, didn't think much about it, didn't even curse the driver, just drove back home. While I was sitting at home and analyzing what just happened during that, I said to myself, I closed my eyes and immediately I saw Mohanji. And the next moment was I picked up my phone. I was connected to him through Facebook, WhatsApp, and I messaged him. I was like, Mohanji, this thing happened. Thank you so much for being there. And as usual, he just with a big smile said blessings. And he was there. I never experienced the protection that I experienced that day. I felt as if there was something which, and I can assure you that even if I would have touched the car, my car would have toppled or I would have gone into an accident. He was there protecting me. Nothing would have happened to me. I am 100% sure about it. Because when he says, "Main hu na," most of the time when I used to tell him, Mohanji, why this is not happening, why this, that, he always used to say, Sonia, main hu na. That very phrase he's living it every day for each one of us who's connected to him, to our families. He's protecting us day in, day out. I don't know how he does it, but he is there with each one of us. And that moment was my first experience when I felt that I was being protected by somebody. And that somebody was my Mohanji. And thereafter, we went, and one day I proposed to my husband to speak to Biba if we can host Mohanji, Biba, and Mila for dinner at our place. I wasn't sure if Mohanji will go, and he will come and bless our home and he'll have dinner with us. I wasn't sure, but I just took a chance. I was like, I will be blessed if he does that. And of course, he said yes. And I was super happy and super tense also, because I was like, what to cook, what he likes, what he doesn't like. And then, of course, as a part of my culture, he was coming home for the first time. So I wanted to gift him something. So I kept thinking what to do. And just like to let everybody know, I'm working as a brand manager for Chanel. I'm handling the whole market here. So I was like, what better gift than a fragrance? Again, a question. So many fragrances. Which one to choose? So I just thought about it and I picked up one, which I probably liked, or I thought he will like and suit his personality. But all like he came home, Biba, Mila, Mohanji, they came home, touched his feet, he sat. And the best part about him is he doesn't make you feel that, people might, okay, like he'll not make you feel that he's a guru. When he's sitting with you, he's just like you. He will talk with you as if he's just one of you. That's one of his qualities, which I don't think I have come across a lot of people. And that, of course, it makes you feel special because you connected to him in that way. So all through we were talking, Mohanji was discussing, Bhushan and Mohanji having conversation, Biba also having. I was quiet all through. And I think he knew why I was quiet. Because in my mind, it was running through. I was like, I bought him a Chanel Allure Home Sport. I don't know if he will like it or not. I'm like, what if he doesn't like? And, I was there, but I was not there. So I think he was reading my mind. He usually does that. So all of a sudden he was talking and he's sharing his experiences. Like, somebody bought me this Chanel, and I was like, wait a minute, what just happened? He's like, somebody bought me Chanel Allure Home Sport, and since then it's my favorite perfume. And I had this big smile, like, like a child would have. Like, I was like, really? Did I just hear this? It's his favorite perfume? And I'm like, how on earth I knew it? But it's just, I think, he reads your mind. He knows his children, I think, so well. That moment, we just exchanged big smile. And while I gifted him, I told him, and he said, I knew it. That is his love. That is his care for each and every person, really. And then Mohanji left Muscat for Wood. I was a bit sad, like I'm sure everybody else who was in Muscat that time. But then he always used to tell me, Sonia, why do you need me physically? We are connected, and we're not connected now. We've been connected through lifetime. And that makes sense. And yes, there have been times like maybe I'm connected to him through social media, through WhatsApp, There are times when I am sitting alone and I'm talking to him and he's replying to me in any which way. That is his way, the subtlest of way he will reply to your questions. A message will come, a pop-up will come, or you will find something on the internet that it it just amazes me how he answers every time. I'm in my mind is in questions or so. And then after a few months, we got to know that Mohanji was coming back. And again, I was super happy. And I was like, okay, Mohanji's coming back. I have to meet him. And I met him. We were like super happy to see him back, welcome him again. And then Mohanji told us that he's going to do a Homa. And I have heard about it. And I felt so blessed and lucky that I was like, okay, I'm going to be a part of Homa with Mohanji in his presence. What else can you ask? What blessing? Unfortunately, I got sick with flu, and that was I think, the saddest moment of my life. I was like, why me? Why it had to happen now? Why it couldn't wait for a few days? And it was winters, and the Homa was going to take place in the morning. So Mohanji also told me, he's like, you are not attending because you're not well. It's going to be cold and it's not good for your health. And as a good child, I was upset, but I said, okay, Mohanji. So he said, no problem, we will take the coconut and we will give it in the Homa on your behalf. So I said, okay. And the day when Homa was happening, I was awake in the morning thinking why I couldn't be there. Maybe I was not connected to him. I thought, mind plays around. Maybe you're not connected to Mohanji. Maybe he didn't wanted you there. All sort of questions were coming. Right away, a phone call came from somebody who was with Mohanji and Biba that time. And he says, Sonia, Mohanji wants to come home and see you. And I was like, really? And my happiness was above anything else. I was on cloud nine. And I told my brain, probably shut up, okay? It was just you who was playing all these questions to me. And see, Mohanji loves me. He cares about me. So I wasn't even ready, and I was like, oh my God, Mohanji is coming. And my husband goes, it's okay, you were sick and you just take rest. When Mohanji comes, I will take care of it. Mohanji came, I opened the door, touched his feet, and boom. The next moment, I couldn't feel that I had any sickness of any kind. Such is his care. He cares for his children in a way that you cannot even think about it. At least I am too small to think how he manages all these things. He takes care of each and every person. Well, that is why he's Mohanji. But yeah, these are few experiences. If I keep sharing, I will just go on and on. People say these are coincidences. You get saved because of XYZ reason. And I don't think it is a coincidence. When you're walking on some path and you get saved, there certainly is somebody who's taking care of you, who's protecting you. For me, it's my Mohanji. He's not only protecting me, but he's protecting my little doll and my family, everybody. Recently only, 2 days back, while playing, you know how 18 months are, like full of energy, jumping on the bed and everything. And without a blink, she just toppled from the bed and I missed my heartbeat. And I was like, my God. And she cried a little bit. I hugged her. And she said, "Hut," to the floor, and she was perfectly okay. I knew. I have Mohanji's picture in my room. The moment I hugged my daughter, I just saw him and I said, "Thank you, Mohanji." Because I know for sure he was there. He's always been there. Whether it's my normal days, whether it's while, I was walking the path of motherhood and my baby was in my womb, he protected her every single day. I felt his protection. There have been so many incidents, but I don't call it coincidence because I know it's him who's always protected me. And he is always going to protect me. That's his love. So, really, when people, I'm sure, like what experiences and what I'm talking right now, each and every person who's connected to him and knows Mohanji would say, yes, it's very similar because he's like this to everybody. And if you ask me, uh, would I consider Mohanji as a guru? Or do I have a word for him? I don't think so, because for me, Mohanji plays different roles. When I'm in need of a parent, how a child needs a parent, he becomes my father. He holds me like a father, and his protection is such that he's there. And when you're walking and you need guidance, he becomes your guru, and he'll make sure he never leaves your hand and walks with you. And when you need a friend, he's there to listen to you. With him, you don't have to portray anything. You don't have to wear a mask. You're free like a bird. He never judges anybody. I've never felt this. He'll just hear out. And in his subtle way, he'll give you the solution to it. So for me, Mohanji is everything. I cannot name him that he's my guru, he's my father, he's my friend. For me, he's everything. He plays different roles for me. He scolds me as well, but I love it. Well, of course, you don't scold strangers. You scold people who you care, who you love. So, yes, of course. So it's not only like all goody things, but he does scold you. Had an experience only once. But that is also a blessing in a different way. Well, if I go on, I will go on. And now I guess I'm getting a little bit overwhelming to share experiences like this. But I just have only one thing that I would say. I love you, Mohanji. I have always loved you. I do love you, and I will always love you, no matter what. If I meet you, if I don't see you physically, we are connected. And like you said, we are connected from lifetime. We are connected, and we will be connected always. And I think when I share my experiences on this platform, my heart is only full of gratitude and unconditional love that you have always taught each and every person. And with that, I just want to say something. I want to bow in front of you and I want to touch your lotus feet. And I want to say thank you. Thank you for being there in my life. Thank you for protecting me. Thank you for being who you are to each and every person. Thank you. Just love and unconditional love at your lotus feet. Love you, Mohanji. Love you.